Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
thank you all for sticking with us. My name is Brandon B. Mage of Bigsby. We've had some technical dealings throughout the day, but hopefully now all things up and ready to roll as we get set for our games 1 through 4 in this matchup between Tohtorit and Last Dance. Again, two teams that really have cemented themselves as two contenders coming into the season. Tohtorit a little bit disappointing during the regular season, only marking at that number 8 seed, surprisingly enough. Well, Last Dance, I mean, just absolutely rolling throughout this season so far, taking that number 1 seed home and just really being able to find their way to continue to dominate really in the ECL scene. Obviously, the big story coming into the season, the Last Dance mantra, who's going to retire? Is anyone going to retire? Is it just the core that's going to be breaking up and going their separate ways, similar to what we saw from Tunnel Vision a year ago? There's all of these questions surrounding this team, a lot of them that don't really have answers as of now, but nevertheless, we'll find out those answers sooner or later. Last Dance are going to be looking to find their way to that elusive championship that has really kind of been waiting on a lot of these guys coming into the season. You think of Eki, you think of Hansalino, you think of Puanso. The only person that has won a championship in this division since ECL 11 is Nicky Dangles. Did so multiple times with the likes of Parasite and H-Reds. As the two teams are getting ready, while we do have a little bit of time, though, I want to make sure to shout out our sponsor, WellNet. If you go to health.sportsgamer.gg, use that code SportsGamer1, you can get a 1-month free trial. They have all types of amazing exercises, specifically curtailed to gamers. So a big thank you to WellNet for everything that they do here for us, as well as our other amazing sponsors such as Game Changer and COVID. I'm not going to see, but a nice deal that we have going on over there at WellNet. So make sure you guys check things out. As these two teams, as you can see in the lobby, getting ready to go and about to get ready to search here in just a matter of moments. But nevertheless, this is a series to where this would have been expected more than likely to be a series that people thought, now, hey, this might end up being a pretty good series in terms of the semifinals. No one would have thought that this was a series that ended up being in the quarterfinals. As you take a quick look at the standings coming into the playoffs, and as you can see, Last Dance at that number 1 spot, as he mentioned, 77 points, while Tohtorit holding on that last playoff spot, just were barely able to hold on there with that. Like, I just see that my camera is still up there, so my apologies again. Rookie producer here, we're figuring out things on the fly, but nevertheless, as you can see, just barely holding on to that last playoff spot with Polsky boys being there. And, you know, for a Tohtorit team that, again, last season were the number 2 seed, were able to make it all the way to the semifinals before falling to Tohtorit, it's a little bit surprising to see them all the way down at that number 8 spot, but nevertheless, all you have to do is be able to make the playoffs, and if you do that, then you never know what can happen from that point forward, and they end up getting themselves a matchup with Last Dance. Not sure you can ask for a much tougher matchup if you are Tohtorit, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So we'll see what Tohtorit can be able to pull off. As we'll also give you just a quick look here as well at the lineups for both these two teams, starting out with Tohtorit on the forwards. Left wing, Oyala; center, Harlow; and at the right wing, Pro Filipaki. While back on defense, it'll be Carcass. Look out for him. A puck-possessing monster on that lefty side. And then with him on the right side will be Sega Stormy. While in between the pipes, last season's goaltender of the season in Stammer. While the lineup for Last Dance, the usual 6 that we've seen throughout the season: Puanso at left wing, Eki at center, and Nicky Dangles at right wing. While back on defense, the longtime duo of Landstrom at left defense and Yamal Demand at right defense. While in between the pipes, the legend himself, Hansalino, who we've seen so many times really step up and be a key factor here. And two teams about to get ready to go here in just a few moments. Want to make sure, though, that we gave you all of the lineups and everything as these two teams get set and ready to roll. So this will be games 1 through 4 of our series here today. Last Dance or Tohtorit could potentially find the way to close this series out, could potentially get that sweep if all things go right for them, but if not, we will see these two teams again down the line, as we will be covering game by game throughout our Elite Division playoffs. Obviously, with this series here being the spotlight here today, no ECL Elite coverage tomorrow, but we'll be back Wednesday and Thursday as well to cover all of the action throughout our Elite Division. That, again, has just been so fun to watch and keep up with throughout the season, as we will be watching from the perspective of Last Dance. And again, we talked about Last Dance, you know, all of the talk coming into the season with the change from Void to Matone to Last Dance. Who is this potentially the Last Dance for? Does that add a little bit more pressure potentially for this group to make that run to a championship? Obviously, you have the big addition in Nicky Dangles coming over from Parasite, his longtime team that he had been so successful with for so long. And, you know, it brought in a lot of questions. What would things look like for this group coming into this season? They were absolutely dominant without question. Were able to pretty much roll their way through the regular season. A 24-win campaign. Only took a 26-win campaign, 2 regulation wins. Only took a total of 4 losses. Had 77 points, as we mentioned. Averaged 4 goals per game, which was the 3rd highest mark in the history of the Elite Division. So this is a team that really does have high expectations, not just because they set them for themselves, but just based on what they were able to do in that regular season campaign. As you see, both teams are ready to go, and folks, we got there. We made it happen. It took some technical difficulties, but hey, we made it happen. That's what we do here at SportsGamer. Is once again, Tohtorit versus Last Dance, the number 8 versus number 1 seed. We'll be covering games 1 through 4. Could one of these teams already in day 1 of our playoff coverage punch their ticket into the semifinals? Both these teams were semifinalists a season ago. We're bounced out in that semifinal round, as you see both the lineups there once again on your screen. We'll be watching again from the perspective of Last Dance, as Eki and the centerman Oyola get set for the face-off, and they are underway in this match between Last Dance and Tohtorit. As Tohtorit has a move past the blue line into the offensive zone. Trying to get a good shot there from the point. That was Carcass, but it was blocked in front. Now Puanso works it up at the left boards, and Last Dance finds their way over at the point. Again, this is a series that highly anticipated coming into today as a chance there for Last Dance, but the save made by Stammer. The series, again, highly anticipated coming into today. Last Dance won both regular season meetings, 4-2 and 4-1, so not blowouts, but were able to find their way to those goals, while Tohtorit were trying to kind of find their way a little bit more. We're struggling to really get that consistent offense. This is Last Dance with it in the offensive zone right now. Shot from the point from the ball, particularly from the front by Tohtorit, who will now try to work their way forward, but not able to, as Last Dance continuing to pace the pressure. For Last Dance, who else but the captain to put the puck in the back of the net and give Last Dance the opening goal, not just this series, but of the playoffs. Not even 5 minutes in. Tohtorit going to try to look for a response, but not much there in the way of doing so. Last Dance once again now have it in the offensive zone, but not for long as they lose that puck, and now Carcass gives it over to Sega Stormy, but turned over again. Tohtorit just struggling to find their way, but here comes Last Dance. A shot from Puanso, saved off of the pad of Stammer. Last Dance still pushing. Puanso has it and moves it behind the net over to Nicky Dangles. Is puck loose and found there by Oyola. As Carcass moves it up and pushes it over the side, but Tohtorit forced to reset. Last Dance defensively, a team that maybe gets slept on just a little bit because you focus so much on the offense. Talk about that 4 goals, 4 per game that they had coming into the season, 3rd most in the league. Last Dance, however, also top 3 in the division. goals allowed per game. Very good defensive team. Tohtorit not able to establish anything in the offensive end. Now Last Dance looking to counter down the other end. Eki with his shot hit the side of the net. Finds a way to stammer, and a power play coming up here as a penalty going to be called against Tohtorit right at the end of that play. Tohtorit will have to go on the penalty kill here. And now Last Dance has a power play coming up, and they're working in the offensive zone. Hold on to that there. Left defender in Lundstrom, and that'll force a reset. Offering in the neutral zone, trying to find some space. Gives up to Puanso. Puanso holding at the corner, up to the point now to Yamal. Trying to get it back to Puanso, but nice defensive play there made by Tohtorit, who will clear this thing out. Which is 42 seconds to go on the power play. Last Dance not able to find much so far here. Yamal controlling this one. Works to perfection. And Last Dance capitalize on the power play and make this a 2-0 score. Already here in this first period. Tohtorit looking for some answers, but Last Dance though pushing once again. They have him behind the net. Last Dance taking things over here in the first period. And it is a 3-0 score in favor of the #1 seed. The forward trio was the one that made that play happen. Eki, Puanso, Nicky Dangles. Tohtorit looking for a response. Full front shot saved by Hanselino. That was Harlow to put that one on net. Back up to the point. So the Swarmy working it there. Shot on goes wide. See it over on the top left corner of your screen. Shot 6-1 in favor of Last Dance. Tohtorit just not really able to get much so far in the way of offense, and they're going to have to find it soon. They find themselves down by 3, less than 3 minutes to go here in period #1. This is the first game of our 4-game coverage here today, all of this series. These two teams chopping at the bit to get these games in. And to potentially punch their ticket into the semifinals today. It's looking on their way so far early on, but a lot of game, a lot of series to go. 20 seconds remaining here. Last Dance gets tripped up there. Lundstrom able to draw the penalty, and that will lead to another power play opportunity for Last Dance. That's how their second goal came. 29.5% on the power play in the regular season. They'll get a power play in the second period as Tohtorit able to dump that out, and time will expire. A 3-0 lead for the #1 seed, Last Dance, with the advantage. As you get a look there at the replay of one of those plays. But again, Last Dance with that 3-goal advantage. They'll have a power play as well coming up here at the second period start. Tohtorit, a team that on the penalty kill were not bad, but not great either. 74.2%. That was not the worst of the playoff teams, but was in the bottom half of all of these groups. 9th overall in the division. As you get another look here at the stats a little bit closer. Mentioned the 6-1 stat in shots in favor of Last Dance, but the time of attack not overly in their favor, about a minute and change, but it's not that Tohtorit hasn't been in the offensive zone, just have not really been able to do anything with it. They have been there. We get set for period #2 of game #1 of this series. I want to make sure we shout out our amazing sponsors, Colvin on Lockwood, Game Changer, and Relnet for their amazing support of SportsGamer and the ECL. It's Last Dance in the offensive zone. The shot on from Lundstrom goes wide. Have about a minute left of this power play here. As Austin gets it back from Yamal, but a nice poke check there made by Tohtorit defensively. Yamal skates forward with a pass across. On in front. Saved, however, by Stammer, and he'll hold on for the stoppage. 39 seconds to go here still on this man advantage for Last Dance. Face off to the right side of Stammer. And back defensively by Tohtorit. They'll look to clear it out. And are able to do so, and will do so by moving it forward themselves. That in the offensive zone for a moment, but turned over. Is now back to even strength. Tohtorit able to kill off that man advantage for Last Dance, but still find themselves down by 3. Last Dance now getting in the offensive zone, trying to pass across there as Tohtorit nearly put it in their own net. Stammer had to be wise and Johnny on the spot to save that one, but be able to get where he needed to go. Offensive zone face-off now upcoming for Last Dance. Tohtorit able to win it, however, in their own zone. Now they'll move it up. Oila at the left boards. Stops, looking for a passing option. Gets a back shot on. The stick of Hanselinger. Tohtorit still pushing. It's a backhand shot there. Hits the side of the net. Now here comes Last Dance down the other end. Rolling it is Eki, giving it to Yamal. Yamal at the left face-off circle, trying to pass it in front there. Got the shot off. It was saved by Stammer and held on to for the stoppage. 14:22 to go here in the second period. Face-off run by Last Dance. Up to the point. Shot on there from Lundstrom, blocked in front. Tohtorit now take over possession, trying to move their way forward, but nothing there. Last able to move it past the blue line, but an offside call with 12:48 to go. Face off here in neutral zone, tied up and won by Last Dance as Nicky Daniels picked that puck up. They try to move him past the blue line, but nothing available to him there. As Tohtorit now will take over. Oila gets back to the point to Karkas. Karkas looking for space, has a lot of it over at that high point. Moves with Segas long. Shot on in front there. Save made by Hanselinger. He's still trying to push, but an offside's called. Tohtorit still looking for offense here, trying to find something. From the offensive end. Turned over. Last Dance with a check. So, once again, in the back of the net. And Last Dance extend the lead to 4. Over halfway through this game, Bledsoe with 2 of the 4 himself. He has found his way to leading this team to a significant advantage here. Still half of the game to go. Tohtorit really needing to find some answers. Last Dance maybe not done. A shot from the point there from Yamal was blocked in front, and now here comes Tohtorit down the other end. Oila controlling it, passes it back, and it finds his way to Karkas. Karkas looking around, pass back to the point. Sony trying to get it down to Oila, but nothing there. That's been the story of the day so far for Tohtorit. Last Dance just denying opportunities so far. And all controlling it for Last Dance. Gives it up to Nicky Daniels. Shot on in front from Eki. A pair of saves there made by Stammer. Last Dance still pushing, however. Yamal at the point, bumped off but found by Nicky Daniels. And now here comes Tohtorit. A one-on-one potentially for Oila, but a better defensive play there made by Yamal, the man, to break that up. ball has been everywhere for this Last Dance team, both on offense and defense. Last Dance now have it in the offensive zone again. Dangles controlling and moves it to the point. The ball timer was saved by Stammer. Watson was looking for that hatchet goal right there, but just not able to put that one past him. Offensive zone draw here coming up for Last Dance. 1:29 remaining here in the second period. They have full pressure here. Tohtorit work it out of their own end. Not able to do so there. Eki picks it up. Shot on from Nicky Dangles. Blocked it away by Stammer. Last Dance still pushing. Austin to Yamal. Back to Austin. Working it at the point. There's a shot on. Blocked in front there. Austin was the one to put that one in. That will do it for period number 2. Last Dance up 4-0. After 40 minutes of play, they have been all over Tohtorit from the puck drop on. Couldn't ask for a better way for them to start this series out than what they have here through these first 2 periods. See the stats there after the 40 minutes, and again, just Last Dance dominating so far throughout most of the stats. 15 shots to 3, and that's despite only having about a minute and a half more time on attack. Nevertheless, Last Dance, they have been pounding the shots on net. Stammer has been quite active throughout this game so far. Tohtorit have a punchback as we're underway for period number 3 in game number 1. As Last Dance already on the counterattack here with Puanzo as a puck. Dangles puts it in. 5-0 in favor of the number 1 seed. As we get a look at that replay there. Yeah, just that pass across from Puanzo finds its way to Nicky Dangles. Puck is loose right on that blue paint. Just kind of able to sweep it in past Stammer. A 5-0 score. Just a little bit over 18 minutes to go, and Last Dance still not done potentially. Yamal trying to pass that across there to Nicky Dangles, but couldn't find him a shot from the point. Goes wide. Yamal now with one himself. It's blocked by his teammate Eki. That is Nicky Dangles maybe trying for a little Michigan play there, but couldn't get it off. Now Tohtorit works down the opposite end. Carcass at the point, controlling it here for Tohtorit, but nothing there for him. Again, just not a lot in the offensive zone for Tohtorit when they've been there. They've had some time, but just not enough shots, not enough space. The defensive Last Dance has been pitch perfect so far throughout this game. See another example of it there with that turnover. He's trying to work into the offensive zone. Grosso's shot rocket away there by Stammer. He picks it up momentarily, and it finds its way up to Yamal at the point. Skating forward, trying to find a pass across there, but it's broken up. And now Tohtorit looking to counterattack as they take over possession. Loyola with it, the captain of this Tohtorit team. Turned over, however, at the right board, and it's a 2-on-1 for Last Dance. Nicky Dangles trying to find Eki, but a nice defensive play there made by Carcass to break it up. Tohtorit now down the other end. Stormy had it for a second, but not for long. Still fighting for that puck. Shot block in front there. Tohtorit just trying to find anything that they can right now. Here on the breakout forward. Dunk down more behind you. That race to it won, however, by Lundstrom for Last Dance. Now they move it forward, trying to pass it up to Puanzo. He picked that puck up, however, is now Here comes Harlow and company down the other end for Tohtorit. To the point, shot on there. 8 minutes to go, last dance with possession and up by 5. And make it 6 here. As Eki has it. Shot on from Nicky Dangles. So they're going to hit off the toe of Stammer. We're working at the pointer, last dance. Turned over, however. A nice poke check there made. And throw for the pocket. It's on the move. Up to the point to Carcass. Out of Euler. Turned over, however. Once again, Tohtorit just not able to do anything in the offensive zone. Get it in, however. Shot on. Blocked it away there by Hanselino. Just his 4th shot that he has seen today. 5 minutes to go here in the final frame. Last dance in full control. A shot from the point there. Denied, however. Last dance still in the offensive zone, but turned over, and here comes Tohtorit down the other end. Go Filipaki. Gives it up, finds its way over to the point, and it's turned over, and a breakaway for Nicky Dangles. One-on-one shot goes wide. It skidded past the entire red line there. But nevertheless, last dance still pressuring his another shot. That one swept aside by Stammer. Last dance still in the offensive zone. The ball shot blocked away by Stammer. Full pressure here before last dance in the offensive end. Turned over, however, and Tohtorit looking to kill it off. Haven't done so yet, and they do now. Battle for in the neutral zone, found by Imaldaman, but turned over as Carcass dumps it in. Hanselino ends up getting in and will shoot that one forward. Last dance of possession. Nicky Dangles is a hat trick for Nicky Dangles. He always seems to play his best hockey this time of the season. And he has 3 goals to show for it. 3 from him, 2 from Puanzo, 1 from Eki. Make it 6. The last dance is 35 seconds to go. And Ronstrom turns it over in the offensive zone, but gets it back. 24 seconds now. It's last dance and cruise control in game number 1 of this series. Tohtorit at least looking to break onto the scoreboard here. Maybe their best chance there, but broken up by Puanzo. It's just 5 seconds remaining. And last dance, making a statement. A 6-0 shutout victory in game number 1. Hanselino sees just 6 shots. Defense and offense in front of him did the rest. Didn't let a single one go past them. A dominant offensive and defensive performance. Maybe one of the best games we have seen from this Last Dance team all season long. I think that game 2 against Parasite a few weeks back probably comes to mind as well. But in terms of just every phase of the game and just pure domination, Last Dance, you just really feel like that game, that was what you like to see from a team that come in as arguably the championship favorites. Going up against a team in Tohtorit that was hungry, had just a 5.25% chance to make the playoffs on the final Monday of the regular season, beat Parasite twice in their series, were able to pick up 4 points against Taimo as well. Combine that with Polsky boys dropping their final 3 games in regulation, that pushed Tohtorit into the playoff picture. But they made the playoffs and in a series with this Last Dance group. Everyone knew that was not going to be easy. And boy, oh boy, you get a look there at the final numbers. 24 shots to 4. I was wrong with the 6. Ended up being 4 shots. But Tohtorit ended up getting on net in 7 minutes of time on attack. Last Dance with the 24 shots in 9:15 of time on attack. Dominant performance from the number 1 seed. As we will take you back into the studio here in just a moment. Just be patient with us. Again, we had some technical difficulties to start things out today, but we're getting things set as we continue to go along. So we appreciate you guys staying patient with us, staying with us here as we get things Correct. There we go. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you. I know you probably don't have to see my face, but it won't be for long as these two teams get set here for game number 2, Last Dance, with a dominant performance. Can they follow that up with another one? They're up 1-0 now in this series. Or will Tohtorit be able to gather themselves and coordinate a quick response? We're going to take one quick break here while these two teams get things set up for game number 2. Do not go away. We'll be right back after the break.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
Thank you all for sticking with us here as Last Dance and Tohtorit are set and ready to go for game number 2 between these two teams. Last Dance, as we mentioned, a dominant game number 1, a 6-0 victory. Tohtorit only putting 4 total shots on net in the entirety of that game. See if they can bounce back here. Once again, we are watching from the perspective of Last Dance. The lineup for Last Dance: Watso at left wing, Eki at center, and Nicky Dangles at right wing with Malmstrom and Yamal Demand back on defense, and Hans Lino in net. For Tohtorit, those home reds, those alternate red jerseys: Oyla at left wing, Carlo at center, Pro Filipati at right wing, Carcass at left D, Sega Sormi at right D, and Stammer in between the pipes as Stammer's opposition in between the pipes. Hans Lino able to make a quick save there and will hold on for the stoppage. Offensive zone face-off now coming up for Tohtorit, one of the first that we have seen from them today. It's one back in the defensive zone by Last Dance. We have in the offensive zone a shot on there from Nicky Dangles. Does not find its way in the back of the net, hits the side up. There's another shot, that one from the point from Ronstrom, saved however by Stammer, and he'll hold on for the freeze. Offensive zone face-off here once again coming up for Last Dance. They tie it up. Nicky Dangles gets it. Shot on. Saved there by Stammer. He will not take any chances. He will freeze it. And get another offensive zone face-off here for Last Dance. Lucky looking for that same play there, but Tohtorit ready for that one. Carcass able to get to it. Dance putting on the forecheck here. Tohtorit able to break past it. Low controlling it. It's a down low to Oyla. Gold helmet wearer for this Tohtorit team. For those not familiar with that, gold helmet represented by the team's leading point scorer. See it for Oyla on the side of Tohtorit. Well, it's Nicky Dangles donning it for Last Dance. He has the puck right now and passes it back. Mackey ended up getting in and could not hold on to it. Turned over quickly, however, by Tohtorit. Yamal at the boards. Looking for something. Gives it back up to his defensive partner in Ronstrom. Back to Yamal. He scores! The one-timer from the point by Yamal the man! And Last Dance strike first here in game 2. Neutral zone face-off here, and Last Dance still looking to push forward. It's thrown in front to Eki, tried to get the shot off, but it was disrupted by Tohtorit. Good job defensively. Hockey with it, back from behind, trying to hold on to that puck, gives it up to Carcass. Carcass, shot on from the point, was blocked in front, and now here comes Last Dance taking over possession. Eki in the offensive zone to Nicky Dangles. Now with a point to Lonster. Lonster moves forward, trying to pass it across, but broken up and found by Yamal the man, but poke checked away. And here comes Tohtorit down the other end. They need something. They've yet to score in this series so far. Just 5 shots on net. About 72 minutes of action. Having in the offensive zone right now. Well, gave it up there to Harlow, but the shot hit the side of the cage. Now Last Dance with the counterattack down the other end. Oh man, that was close for Stammer. Had to be ready for that one. As a defensive zone faceoff going to be led to there for Tohtorit due to that. Carcass has it here. After Tohtorit wins the defensive zone faceoff, an offside call there is Pocky just a step behind one of his teammates there as they cross the blue line. Harlow and Eki get set for the face-off here in the neutral zone. 6:43 to go in period number 1. Last Dance with a 1-0 lead here in game 2. Harlow controlling it, tried to give it over to Profile Pocky, but disrupted, and now Last Dance take over possession. Dangles. Move it up to Yamal, but it's turned over. Carcass with it, puts on a move and has some space. Carcass looking for an option, but didn't have much. Nice defensive play there made by Last Dance, as now they working down the opposite end. Pass to the point to Lundstrom. Holding it, shot, just had nothing else there. It was picked up by Harlow and stopped dead in its tracks. Tohtorit in the offensive zone once again here. A point to Carcass. Shot on from Sega. Sormy saved on the glove of Hanselino, and he'll play this out. That's when you can tell Last Dance they are feeling confident. They want to keep the game going. They have it now in the offensive end. Strom and Eki working together at the left wall. He gives it to Puanzo at the corner. He angles to Eki at the point. Lost, however, and now that'll force a reset here for Last Dance. 60 seconds to go here in period number 1. Last Dance with a 1-goal advantage, and they have possession. There's a shot there from Puanzo goes wide. That one-timer rip, if you blinked, you would have missed it. 5 seconds to go. Tohtorit trying to find something on a counterattack, but could not. That will do it. The first 20 minutes of game number 2, Last Dance, a 1-0 lead. We saw Nicky Dangle score 3 times. We saw Puanzo score twice. We saw Eki score once in game number 1. Yamal the man says, hey now, let me get in on the scoring. That beautiful one-time shot from the right point rips its way in past Stammer and gives Last Dance that 1-0 advantage. Get a look at the stats here. 5-3 in shots in favor of Last Dance. They also have 2 times the amount of time on attack as Tohtorit does. 403 to 146. That's all on even strength. So it just goes to show you how Last Dance has been able to really control this game and control the possession. Get things ready for period number 2. Game number 2. These 2 teams. We have games 1 through 4 here on our broadcast today, and then we'll be back with more Elite Division coverage on Wednesday. Offside call as Last Dance tried to break it into the offensive end. Off one back by Eki, and Last Dance move it in past the blue line momentarily, but the pass to Mickey Dangles goes awry and will force a reset. Now the man with it, moves it up to Kwanzaa. Down low. Turned over, and now Tohtorit in the counterattack down the opposite end, but an offside called as Harlow was bumped off of that puck right as he crossed the blue line. Mickey and Harlow at the faceoff dot. One back by Harlow in the neutral zone. Tohtorit working in past the blue line. Oila controls it and moves into Carcass at the point. Back to Oila at the left wall. Oila looking, trying to find an option to pass or shoot, and gives it up to Carcass, but forced to reset as he crossed that blue line. Would have been an offside. Oila trying to pass in front. Puck was loose, but found by Eki. The Last Dance will now take over possession. And working in the offensive zone, but a nice defensive effort there by Tohtorit to deny them. Much better effort so far from Tohtorit, a little bit closer than what we saw in game one. Allowing the same amount of opportunities from Last Dance, but also getting a little bit of zone time here so far to start the second period as well. Youth behind the net, battled for between Carcass and Eki, and Carcass will come out with it. We have to say, Sorgi, who takes a massive hit there from Kwanzaa, will lead to an offside call, but Kwanzaa laying the lumber there on those left boards. Someone you see typically lay down the body like that, but he's known as more of a play driver and a scorer on the offensive end. Nevertheless, so able to lay that thing down and make a nice play on the defensive end. Last Dance have it in the offensive zone. The one-timer from Rostrum was saved by Stammer. Tohtorit will now take over possession, trying to move it forward, but again denied, but they do get it back. Getting in the offensive zone now. Turned over, however, almost immediately, and now Last Dance work it down the other end. Carcass will slow things down here for Tohtorit. Last Dance will get set defensively to counter. Slap shot in the offensive zone, puck given chase, found first by Lonston. Tohtorit just trying to throw different looks at this Last Dance defense, but nothing working so far. They have yet to score so far in the series. We're halfway through game number 2. Last Dance in the offensive zone now, holding on to that 1-goal lead. Dangle's shot off of the side of the post is saved by Stammer, and he'll hold on and freeze it. Offensive zone face-off here for Last Dance to the right side of Stammer. Tied up. Won by Last Dance. However, poke checked off of the stick of Kwanzaa, and here comes Tohtorit down the other end. We're with it. Pass down behind low, and a shot on, saved by Hanselino. Puck still loose in front, but found by Eki. Slow things down here. Last in the neutral zone. Looks up to Mickey Dangles. Yamal, back to Mickey. Lonston at the left point. Lonston now over to Kwanzaa, gives it back to Mickey Dangles in front, but turned over. And now here comes Tohtorit down the other end, but turned over on that pass attempt. Mickey Dangles picked that one off. Mickey with it at the right corner and up to the point now. Jamal to Mickey. Turned over, puck found and given chase, however, by Lonston. Last Dance just continuing to control the possession game here. Less than 3 minutes to go here in period 2. There's a chance here for Last Dance. Shot on. Another shot. Another save. A third shot. And a save made by Stammer once again. Calm in the chaos is the reigning goaltender of the year. Stammer stepping up big for Tohtorit. And they reward him here. He'll have to do so again, however, as Last Dance still pushing in the offensive zone. Controlled by Eki at the right corner, but turned over. Harlow with speed moves up to Oila. Oila pass in front there by Harlow, but doesn't find anyone. Tohtorit going to keep possession momentarily, but it's lost. Stern with it, trying to break it out of his own zone. Tohtorit, the defensive pressure, giving Last Dance a little trouble. able to get into the offensive end here. There's a couple of seconds left. Tohtorit able to avoid it without any danger. That will do it. 40 minutes down, last dance still up by a goal. Tohtorit looking for their first goal of the series still. A 1-0 lead after 2 periods of play. Last dance up ahead. And that goal in the first period from Yamal the man. Take a look at a few of the chances, a few of the plays there from that second frame. And again, just last dance, dominating in terms of the stats. They've had the zone time, they've had the shots. They've even been able to have the advantage of the face-off dot. Tohtorit looking for answers, trying to just find a way to get things a little bit tighter in this series. I mean, we saw in game 1 they only had 4 shots and they allowed 6 goals. It's been a little bit better in this game. Already have 4 shots, so they've matched their tally from game number 1 in just 2 periods alone, but they're going to have to find a way to break one past Hanselinho. And this last dance defense, and here's a chance, a breakaway for check from Hanselinho. Tohtorit still pushing, however. Tohtorit shot from the point, swept aside by Hanselinho, and last dance able to avoid any danger, and that is why Hanselinho is considered one of the best goalies in the history of this league. He steps up when called upon. Best chance of the night so far from Tohtorit in either game, squandered by that flying poke check effort from Hanselinho. We see him get aggressive there on those breakaways often. He did so there and it worked. Last dance, looking to break him into the offensive zone, and they do. A passes. Pulls the lead for last dance. Big time saves lead to big time plays. And that is exactly what happened for last dance. The save from Hanselinho to keep that 1-0 advantage. And the next possession, it leads to a goal from their captain and center, Eki. A 2-0 lead for the number 1 seed last dance. As Tohtorit still searching, still trying to find something in this series. They're trying to get out of their own end here. Eki behind the net, spin move, shot on the side of the cage, found Stammer. As Tohtorit gonna push this thing forward. Oila with it. Pass across, disrupted there by Lonston and Puanzo. He dangles to Eki, back to Mickey. Point now to Yamal. Trying to work with the Mickey Dangles over the slot, but it was disrupted by Tohtorit. Last dance, dumping in. Found first by Segasormi. Sopped up the boards and found by Oila. In the offensive zone for Tohtorit. Shot on there, was saved. It's clear for the Poppy. Put that puck on net. Here's Wilson back to the point. On the pass, Yamal goes over to Puanzo. Puanzo trying to give it to Mickey Daniels. Gets it back, however, as a puck loose in front and found by Yamal, who saves that from crossing the blue line. And by Carcass, however, and Tohtorit now down the other end, halfway through this third period. Last dance with a critical second goal to double their lead. There's a big hit there on Lundstrom. That's Harwood that laid the lumber there, and last dance going to be forced to reset. Not many rush here, but a slap up to Mickey Dangles up the right boards. Pass back to Eki. Puck loose in front. Found by Harlow. Sprung forward. And Tohtorit take over possession here. They've got to act quickly here. Less than 7.5 minutes to play. Turned it over, and last dance will again take over possession. It's not really a lot of quality and opportunity for this Tohtorit team. That breakaway, their best chance so far, but again, denied by Hanselinho. Less than 6 minutes now. The Sormy going to find an option, gives it up to Harlow, and it ends up going perfectly. The pass in front there was disrupted. This last dance still controlling it, back from behind. picked up by Tohtorit. Segastormy beginning the breakup, approaching the 4-minute mark here. Marcus at the point. Here's the Segastormy. Passed over to the corner, but it's picked up by Nikki Dangles for last dance, but turned over. As the puck loose, battled for behind the net, and found by Tohtorit. Trying to pass it across goals. Harlow, a quick shot on from Oila, was gloved away by Hanselino, who played this out. A big hit there from Segastormy on Puanzo, but it leads to a breakaway for Nikki Dangles. Backhand shot saved by Stammer. Keeps his team alive, and a penalty called against Last Dance. A potential power play coming up for Tohtorit. Loose over at the corner and touched up on by Last Dance. So 56.7 seconds remaining. Tohtorit with a power play for the first time in this series. Timeout going to be called here as well. As you look at the power play numbers for this Tohtorit team in the regular season, 25.7%. Last Dance on the penalty kill, 77.5. Both of these teams right around the middle-ish part of the table in terms of the special teams in that area. Tohtorit need a goal here desperately, not able to get anything so far. Breakaway for Yamal, the man, but the stick of Stammer denies him. He went for that Hanselino flying poke check, but it worked out in his benefit this time. Denies Last Dance for third goal that most certainly would have ended. Tohtorit now in the offensive zone. The captain breaks the shutout streak for Hanselino. And all of a sudden, this lead cut down to just one. Get a look at the replay there. A lot of space for Oila there in that slot. Ripped that one past the glove of Hanselino, and 25 seconds left. Tohtorit just down by one. They have it in the offensive zone. And Tohtorit may not be done. They have possession here. Carcass moving it up. He has it at the point. Lost, however. 8 seconds to go. Last Dance with possession. Eki pass across to Nikki Dangles. Puck right line, but Stammer stops it. And a collective sigh of relief, I'm sure, in the chat of Tohtorit right now. 2.3 seconds remaining. Hanselino pulls. One back to Puanzo. Doesn't get a shot off. And folks, who would have thunk it? It's just a matter of 2 real-life minutes ago. We've got overtime coming up in game number 2. Last Dance. We're up 2-0 with 30 seconds left in this game. Tohtorit score on the power play, and 5 seconds later, that backhand shot right there from Harlow ties things up in an absolutely stunning turn of events. But can Tohtorit finish the job? See the stats there through 60 minutes of hockey. 12-10 in shots in favor of Last Dance. The time and attack a little bit more skewed in their favor, obviously. 9:40 to 5:39. But nevertheless, Tohtorit have done what they've had to do. They have pushed it to overtime. But this isn't the regular season anymore, ladies and gentlemen. This is the playoffs. You don't get points for losing it overtime. It has got to be a win or bust for either of these two sides. Tohtorit looking to knock this series up at 1 apiece. As, oh no, I think we may have had a potential disconnect. Oh, you hate to see that. Oh man, that's tough. Oh, you hate to see that. As it looks like there was potentially a disconnect there. So we're gonna build the anticipation for a little bit longer, guys. I apologize. It's unfortunate there, right when we had something really cooking there. But how about Tohtorit? I mean, they did not score for nearly 119 minutes. A little bit over that, as a matter of fact. Shutout in game number 1. Shutout in game number 2 until 30 seconds remaining, and they find back-to-back goals. And all of a sudden, we have a tie game in overtime hockey coming up. As while these two teams get things reset, we're going to bring you back into the booth here. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you. And folks, I mean, gosh, what a freaking game that we have had. I mean, absolutely amazing what Tohtorit have been able to pull off here with that last 30 seconds. They'll also get a little bit of time to reset. I gotta be honest, if I'm Tohtorit, I'm maybe not thrilled that you had that disconnect there, just because you had the momentum on your side, and now that gives Last Dance a little bit of a chance, not even just in terms of in-game momentum to reset, but just a chance to kind of mentally reset. They thought they had this game won, thought they had a 2-0 series lead right in their grasp, and they saw it slip and go into an overtime. Kind of gives them a chance to collect their breath a little bit and talk things over. So could be interesting to see where this overtime ends up leading us here. As man, oh man, absolutely stunning. What a job there by Tohtorit to push this to an overtime. We'll see if they can finish the job and maybe tie the series up at one apiece. While these teams get things set, we're going to take you to a break, and we will be back with overtime hockey, playoff overtime hockey. What more could you ask for? Do not go away, my friends. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. parhaalta. Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, as you can see, the two teams are back and ready to roll, and so are we. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you, and if you're just now joining us, or if you maybe just forgot from a little bit of a wait that we had, so these two teams get everything connected and ready to go. Obviously, it's just kind of unfortunate with the connection issues, but nevertheless, a 2-2 score, and we've got overtime starting right now. Tohtorit, 2 goals in about 5 seconds. To tie this thing up at 2 apiece. Last dance. With a win, looking to go up 2-0 in the series. With Tohtorit in a bit of a bind, to say the least. Can they finish the job, or will Tohtorit be able to pull off what was a magical comeback? We'll find out now as we're underway for overtime. Tohtorit with possession as Oyula moves it over to Quarterfinals, who goes back to Carcass. Carcass going to set things up here for Tohtorit. Dumps it in the offensive zone. He's found, however, by Lonston. And last dance now on the charge on the offensive end. In the offensive zone here. Cannot hold on to it for long. Tohtorit now takes over possession. Defensive end, power forward left corner, and taken by last dance. They now work it up. Yamal got the first goal of this game. Has it in the offensive zone. Shot on was saved by Stammer. Last dance still in the offensive end pushing. He dangles to the counter. Stammer denies it. And a breakaway for Honsolino. From Stammer and Honsolino. And now last dance looking to get some offense going of their own. Eki with it. Shot on was denied by Stammer. And he'll hold on and stop play with that whistle. How about the breakaway chance there from Oyula? Had the game winner on his stick. And the right toe of Honsolino denies him of an overtime victory. Looks like we've got a pause here on the side of Tohtorit. As once again, for those that are just now joining us, last dance won game number 1 in dominant fashion. A 6-0 victory. Tohtorit only had 4 shots on net. They had not scored yet in this series until the last 30 seconds of game number 2 that we are watching right now. Back-to-back goals to top. By Tohtorit. Here we are trying to set the scene, and last dance was trying to end it. But Tohtorit having the offensive zone, but it's turned over almost immediately. Lonston in the neutral zone, bumped off of that puck. And behind him to get it back was Yamal. And over here, go for the puck, he moves it to Harlow. He tied this game up, and a power play upcoming for Tohtorit. Lundstrom will head to the box for tripping. And if you go back to that last third period, it was a power play goal from Oyula that kicked off the comeback. Can it be a power play goal for Tohtorit that completes it? Carcass controlling it in the offensive end, moves to save his for me. Pass at the point, back to Oyula, at the left faceoff circle, looking for space, looking for an option. Checked away, but recovered by Carcass. Carcass with it, poked away by Eki, and here comes last dance. Eki with speed. Ball for that puck, however, nice defensive play there made by Harlow. 45 seconds to go on the power play for Tohtorit. Arguably their best chance to win it here. Carcass controlling it at the face-off circle. Holding it, gives the Oyula pass in front, puck loose, and found by Quarterfinals. Moving in front. Tohtorit complete the comeback! From 2-0 down with less than 30 seconds remaining to a 3-2 overtime victory. a stunner for the number 8 seed, Tohtorit. Knock off Last Dance in overtime in a spectacular comeback effort. How about that? And the man that scored the game winner was Segasormi. The defender pushes up in the play, gets in front of the net. He scored just 4 goals in the entirety of the regular season. But he steps up at a critical moment and makes the play to win the game for Tohtorit. And how about the pass from Oyla there as well? Wow, wow, wow.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi. Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, as we are just about to get set here in just a few moments. Thought we had things ready to go, but looks like there was a bit of a connection issue there. So instead, while we wait for that, we'll bring you back in. In the past, and we're you're able to kind of step up and do what you need to do and play these close games like this. A little surprising to see Tohtorit fall in the manner that they did in game number one. And then in game two, it looked like it was potentially going to be more of the same, right? They're down 2-0. They hadn't scored a goal all series yet. They had struggled to really find offense. And then all of a sudden, Oyla gets that power play goal, and it's just like everything flipped on its head. Those are the different plays that can really change the momentum and the belief of a team in a series. And, all of a sudden, it's going to be interesting to see how this game number 3 looks, especially how Last Dance finds their way to respond from that. Losing that 2-0 lead in just a matter of a few seconds and then dropping that game 2 altogether. Going to be interesting to see how they can respond. But while we do have some time, I want to make sure that we give you guys a quick shout with our friends over at Wellnet. If you go to health.sportsgamer.gg, use code SportsGamer1, you get a 1-month free trial. They have all types of different exercises and things you can use right from the comfort of your own home, especially some exercises that are specifically curtailed to us as gamers, which is really nice. Not everything is for everyone. Nice to kind of have something that's more curtailed to us who like to go in and play. So, going to be interesting to see how things set up. As we get things set here for this next game, they're still trying to get the connection issue sorted out, so we do apologize for the way it's been an interesting day, and nevertheless, not only behind the scenes, but also within the games as well. But nevertheless, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Always fun to call these games. Always fun to be a part of this. I'm just as antsy to get this thing going as these two teams are. Again, make sure you go to health.sportsgamer.gg, use that code SportsGamer1, and you'll get that 1-month free trial. As I know there was a little bit of audio issues there earlier on. Hopefully we got those fixed now. Thank you all for bearing with us. Again, had some circumstances happen right before the broadcast, so had to throw some things together last minute. But hey, we're here. We got things rolling. We have two really good teams fighting and competing with each other here. It's going to be a lot of fun to see which direction this game 3 goes. And not only that, but Tohtorit winning that game does guarantee that we will end up seeing a little bit more hockey from these two past today. As we mentioned, today, games 1 through 4 between Last Dance and Tohtorit. We will see these two teams again in action, hopefully in the future. But again, we do at least know that we will have these two teams set and playing here either later this week or next week, depending on how the schedule ends up working out. So we know we'll have games from this series later on past today. So something to look forward to there, as these two teams have given us some fun storylines so far, as it looks like these two are ready to go and they have gotten matched up and in the lobby. Last Dance versus Tohtorit, game number 3. Last Dance going to be the home side this time around. And we will again be watching from their perspective. While we do have some time, we want to make sure we thank our amazing sponsors. Game Changer, Quarterfinals, and Wellnet for all of their amazing and generous support of what we do here at the ECL and at SportsGamer GG. Twitch.tv/Reactio Media. As we get set for our 3rd game of coverage here today. We'll have one more after this. It's Last Dance. We're going to face off in the neutral zone, and we are underway. Ecky has it over at the right boards, losing Nicky Dangles again. The response from Last Dance. How do they look after dropping in that second game in such wild fashion? Not often do you see this Last Dance group that, 13 of the 19 ECL championship teams, someone on this team played on those teams. Not often you see them blow a lead like that late. It happens to the best of teams, and Last Dance, no exception. Tohtorit, a very good team, so it's interesting to see what the response looks like. Also, does this maybe give Tohtorit the shot in the arm that they were looking for? Face-off here for Last Dance, but one in the defensive end by Tohtorit. Sega Stormy, the overtime hero for Tohtorit in that last game. We're able to pick that up for a moment, but Last Dance now in the offensive zone and pushing. Winston controlling it. And forward, pull checked off his stick, puck loose and remained by Lastrom, who gives it up to Yamal. And at the point, he shot on there on the pass to Puanso. Was saved by Stammer, puck found by Oyula. And now here comes Tohtorit. Marcus controlling it. Gives it up to Harlow. Shot was saved by Hanselino that time. Tohtorit looks like a much different team from what we saw from them throughout really the first 5.5 periods of this series. You can tell there's a bit of a pep in their step right now. Last Dance going to have to respond to that punchback as a penalty going to be called against Last Dance, and Tohtorit, power play opportunity coming up. And remember, 2 of their 3 goals in that game, 2 on the power play. Marcus has it after Last Dance. We're able to clear it out. Moves up behind the net. And picked up by Tohtorit. Marcus back at the point with it again. Forward. Puts it up. Pass it off. Shot. And may have hit off the toe of Hanselino, but it went wide well anyways. Last Dance able to dump and clear that out. 50 seconds to go on the man advantage here for Tohtorit. One solid chance so far. Can they get another here? Oyula trying to give that one over the pro for the Pocky, but it finds its way to Sega Stormy instead. Marcus at the point. Up to Harlow, trying to pass it towards the slot, but it's picked off by Last Dance, and boy, Nicky Dangles clears that out. Maybe could have stayed it with that one, but nevertheless, Lawson finds it in front. Saved, however, by Stammer on the shot from Ecky. Hold on to stoppage. Back and forth, game number 3 so far, almost halfway through the opening period. Both teams with 2 shots. Tohtorit has had the 1 power play so far, but maybe a 2-on-2 or 2-on-1 developing for Tohtorit, but open up there by Lundstrom. Oyula gets it back, however. Shot on, blocked it away by Hanselino. Tohtorit still in the offensive zone control. Marcus at the point, skates forward, getting it all up. Hard backhand shot will cave in the chest of Hanselino, who will freeze it. Offensive zone face-off now coming up here for Tohtorit. Looks like Last Dance going to pause and potentially take a timeout here. Take a quick peek here at the stats. Tohtorit A little less time on attack, but more shots on net so far. They've done a good job of denying Last Dance of being able to get as many opportunities. That was really the story in game number 1. Last Dance were just creating opportunity after opportunity, and just Tohtorit, no answer for it. They slowed it down enough in game number 2 and were able to find their own offense eventually, and so far they've had the majority of chances in game 3, but can that stick? The Last Dance team that have been so good at being able to adjust in the past, whether it's the days of Havu or Fila. Obviously, Mickey Dangler's coming from those parasite teams that are known for being able to adjust. A team that can find their way past whatever you throw at them. Tohtorit. And everything that they have right now. Last Dance with possession in the offensive zone. A pass across from Mickey Dangler's puck loose in front. He couldn't find all of that puck. Will be dumped all the way down the opposite end for an icing and an offensive zone face-off coming up here for Last Dance. 4:43 to go here in period number 1, game number 3. Series tied at 1 apiece. Again, Last Dance with that 6-0 game 1 win. Tohtorit 3-2 come from behind win in overtime in game 2. A shot from Monstrom in front, favored by Stammer. Get it out of their own end safely. Puck is controlling it. We've seen a lot of him so far today. Give it up to Harlow. Shot on there from Pro for the Pocky was saved by Hansalino. And now here come Last Dance quickly on the counterattack. Eki holding it behind the net. Moves it up to off into the point. Now one-time shot there. And the ball to end, which was blocked. Suddenly pressured and turned over. Dance not able to capitalize, however, as Tohtorit take over possession. 1:40 remaining here in period 1. Marcus controlling it, trying to move it forward, but it's picked off by Eki. So had it for a moment, but could not hold on to it. 30 seconds to go now. Tohtorit working into the offensive end. Ayla, shot was picked up there by Lundstrom, and now here comes Last Dance on the counterattack. 3 seconds ago, shot saved there by Stammer. Maybe a little more dangerous than he would have thought. And he'll hold on and freeze it with just 5/10 of a second remaining. That will do it for period number 1. A scoreless period. One of the few that we've had so far in this series. Tohtorit had a power play opportunity, but we're not able to capitalize. Last Dance with a couple of chances of their own, but not able to do anything with it. The opening 20 minutes, a scoreless draw. That was the best chance of the day, really, for either side. I think Asarmi camped out in front and trying to sweep that one past and just not able to beat Hansalino there. See the stats, 6-4 in shots in favor of Tohtorit. Again, Last Dance still controlling that possession time. That's been what they've been able to do throughout this series, but all of a sudden, Tohtorit have really evened things up in terms of the amount of opportunities they're able to create. Set the table for period 2 of game number 3. We'll have game number 4 after this to end off our coverage for today. Critical game 3 here. Go down 2-1. All of a sudden, the pressure for game 4 becomes amplified even more. Tohtorit, you gotta feel like this is an opportunity. You have momentum. You just stole game 2. Getting some opportunities here. The series has been evened up a lot more as a shot from the point from Karkas saved by Hansalino. Oilers looking for another chance. Shot on and the point was blocked in front. And a penalty going to be called here against Tohtorit. So a power play upcoming for Last Dance. As it'll be Harlow heading to the box. Centering for Tohtorit, goes to the box, and how about the right winger for the Pocky winning that face-off cleanly in his own zone? Now allow Tohtorit to clear this out. Last Dance back in the offensive end. Has a quick there from Nicky Dangles, who's looking for Kuanso, but could not find it. Now last dance, we'll have to try again. He's going to blitz past the blue line. And forward pass across there. He could not get that shot off fully. Good chance, but not able to convert. Austin to Kuanso, trying to pass in front. Taken away by Euler, who dumps this out. A picture-perfect penalty kill so far for Tohtorit. Last dance, awfully close there to find the tie-breaking goal. Tohtorit turning over in their own end. Shot from Nicky Dangles was saved in the glove of Stammer, and he'll freeze it with 14:30 to go. Back to even strength here as well. Boy, these two teams, they have had a couple of scary moments so far in this game despite no score. Offensive zone won by last dance. Not able to do much with that face-off win, however, as now Tohtorit work down the other end. And over, nice pick-off goal from Nicky Dangles. And for this Carcass past the blue line. Pass it over to Kuanso, can't get the shot off clean. Nice job from Sega Story to break that up. And he goes up with speed. Turned over quickly, but a gain there by Tohtorit as Euler got to that puck. Sega's trying to go off the blue line there, the offside's gone. Approaching the halfway point of this game. Still scoreless, but not shorted on opportunities have either of these two teams been. Last dance with possession, trying to work their way in the offensive zone, and they do. One-timer from Loston was blocked by Eki in front. Last dance get possession back. And over there, off of the stick of Nicky Dangles, and now here comes Tohtorit down the opposite way. Ayla controlling it. Looking for a shot. Not enough. Ayla, the captain, who kicked off the comeback in game number 2. He lights up the scoring fuse in game number 3 at the exact halfway point. It took us 30 minutes to get a goal, and it's Tohtorit that finds it first. A 1-0 lead. And all of a sudden, things getting a little bit more interesting here in this series compared to what we saw an hour ago, where Tohtorit looked like they were miles behind this last dance group. All of a sudden, they're playing right there with them and have a lead to boot. Their first lead of the day in any of these games that was not an overtime winner. Tohtorit out ahead for the first time in regulation, and now last dance on their heels a little bit. Turn it over in the offensive zone. Tohtorit looking to break it out of their own end, and they do. Olila works, trying to work it up the Carthage ladder, but wasn't able to find him cleanly, and now last dance will try to break it into the offensive zone themselves. And over, however. Go for the pocket. Loose over at the left wall and found by Euler. And that's going to lead to the turnover, and now last dance will try to work down the other end. 5 minutes to go now, nearly, in period number 2. Tohtorit broke open the scoring with the goal from Euler. The gold helmet wearer, the captain for this Tohtorit team. He has been the staple and the heart of this Tohtorit team for years now. Remember, this Tohtorit team, a staple in the Pro Division a few years ago, ended up winning a championship there as an 8 seed. Could they potentially repeat history this season, this time in the Elite Division? This is a situation that Tohtorit not uncomfortable being in, an underdog going up against a top seed that everyone expects to dominate. And a lot of this Tohtorit team that you see on the ice was on that number 8 championship winning team. So this is a group that has a lot of experience, a lot of chemistry. They've been through everything together. And so far, they are giving Last Dance pretty much everything they could handle since that first game. 2 minutes remaining here in period 2. Last Dance with possession in the neutral zone. There's a big hit there taken by Nicky Dangles as the offside was called. two teams have not been afraid to throw the body around a little bit. An example of it right there is a neutral zone face-off now coming up. Won by Last Dance, and they immediately get past the blue line. Longstrom to Puanzo. Down low to Nicky Dangles, now up to the point to Yamal the man. Yamal gives to Nicky. Now to Puanzo at the right face-off straight. To Eki, to Yamal at the point, to Longstrom. Nice cycle from Last Dance. 8 seconds to go. Pass in front, disrupted there by Euler. Still possession, however, for Last Dance. Their shot blocked in front, and that will do it for period number 2. Tohtorit with a 1-0 advantage after 40 minutes of play. Euler, the man to break the scoring drought for both these two sides on this shot right here from the low slot. To get that through the Last Dance defense, Hanselino not able to make the save. And it gives Tohtorit a 1-goal advantage with one more period of regulation to play. When you talk about storylines, you have a hard time finding a league in any esport. I'd put the ECL of any esport out there in terms of the ability to just naturally create storylines. And you look at this Tohtorit team. 1-0 lead in period 2. One more period to play in game 3. You tie this series 1-1 already, and you have a chance to end this game out and really put Last Dance in an interesting position if you can close this thing out heading into game 4. You just feel like if Tohtorit want to win this series, they have to take advantage of this right now. Having this lead, having the series be tied, it feels like this is a golden opportunity that you have to capitalize on. We don't see many of these 8-seed upsets for a reason in the Elite Division. They're really hard to pull off. Tohtorit, the chances of them pulling it off are more realistic the longer they continue to play this way. We're underway for period number 3. Last Dance have it in the opposite zone. One-time shot goes wide there from Yamal. As it's turned over in their own end, and Stammer saves the opportunity from Last Dance. Last Dance, they keep hearing the upset talk, and they want to try to end it. Almost did right there. Offensive zone face-off coming up. One momentarily to Puanzo, but turned over as he was bumped from behind. Dance get it back in the neutral zone. Puanzo gets it for a moment. Looks it over to Longstrom. Down to the point and down low. Back to the point. Shot on there from Longstrom was saved by Stammer. Tohtorit get it out of their own end, and Euler gets it in past the blue line in the offensive zone. Spin move there by Profilipaki was stopped and denied, and now Last Dance to capitalize on that turnover. Back at the point, shot was blocked. Picked up by Nicky Dangles at the corner. Move up to Longstrom, now to Puanzo. Back to Nicky Dangles. Back to Longstrom. Nicky again. One-time shot there from the ball was blocked by Euler. Last Dance still pushing, however. Longstrom walks it at the point. So down low to Eki. Up loose over the side of the net. Turned over. Here comes Tohtorit down the opposite end. Profilipaki trying to pass it in front. Right behind the net, and Last Dance take over possession. Approaching the 11.5-minute mark here of period number 3. Tohtorit with the 1-goal advantage. Euler with that 1 goal. Last Dance, they've been held scoreless now for about 60 minutes if you go back to game number 2. Have it in the offensive zone now, looking to break that schneid. Yamal at the point. Skates with it, gives it to Longstrom. His one-timer was blocked away by Stammer. Tohtorit with possession, but turned over. Nice hit from Puanzo, shot on by the cage, and Tohtorit trying to get out of their own zone, but a nice turnover created by Nicky Dangles. Shot on was saved by Stammer. Full pressure for Last Dance. Tohtorit trying to get it out. Nice forecheck from Last Dance. They're going to have to dump this one out for an icing, and an offensive zone face-off coming up here for Last Dance to the left side of Stammer, and they have full pressure to boot. At the point. Moved over to Longstrom, shot save, another shot, another save. Last Dance still pressuring. One-timer from Yamal goes wide. Eki controlling it. Now after fighting and trying and pushing, tie this up at 1 apiece with 6:12 to go. How about Last Dance? As folks, we have got a fun finish coming up here. Tohtorit with possession. Karkas controlling it and looking to break this one in. Nice profile of Pocky at the right boards, but he's denied and it's turned over. Mickey Dangles gives it up to Watso, who tried to just back that pass. The glove of Stammer, but he was there and ready for it. Offensive zone face-off here for Last Dance. To the right of Stammer. One in the defensive zone by Tohtorit. Karkas gonna slow things down here. 3:45 to play in regulation. We are tied at 1. Mickey Dangles' goal knotted things up for Last Dance. A much-needed goal. And Last Dance now find the winner. They have it in the neutral zone. Mickey Dangles gets it on the pass from Yamal. It's to Eki at the corner. And Kwanzaa behind the net trying to pass it back in front, but it was picked off by a Tohtorit defender. Up loose, and Last Dance will be forced to reset. 60 seconds to play. Tied at 1. We're going to get a face-off now upcoming after that offsides call. And it's going to be an offensive zone draw for Tohtorit. In the defensive zone by Last Dance. Eki with another big win on the dot. He's been phenomenal there tonight. In the offensive zone is Lundstrom tripped up from behind us. Eki. Karkas will head to the box. And Last Dance, a power play opportunity in a tie game with less than a minute to go. Where have we seen this story before? They have it in the offensive end. Working it around. Yamal to Mickey Dangles to Lundstrom at the point. Trying to get it to Mickey Dangles for one time, but we'll another one-timer. This one from Lundstrom, blockered away by Stammer. Lundstrom still possessing it. Skates forward, pass in front to Eki, but denied. And here comes Tohtorit. A breakaway denied on the poke check from behind by Yamal. Crisis averted for Last Dance, and now they're the aggressors. Yamal at the point, looking, trying to find space, but nothing available as Oila will dump this for Tohtorit. 7 seconds. Last Dance in the offensive end, trying to get the one-timer to Mickey Dangles, but it was picked off by Oila. And for the second time today, we've got overtime coming up in this series. Wow, wow, wow. One to one your score. Tohtorit got the opening goal at exactly the halfway point, 30 minutes into this game. Oila, the captain and left winger for this Tohtorit team, was able to put one in past Hanselino. And then, as you just saw not too long ago, Mickey Dangles with another goal in this series. He had a hat trick in game 1. Was able to find another goal right there to tie things up, and we're going to have extra hockey. One of these two teams are going to take a 2-1 series lead, but who is it going to be? We've got overtime right here, twitch.tv/Reactio Media, the ECL Elite Division Quarterfinals at SportsGamer GG. The number 1 seed, Last Dance, have possession in the offensive zone right now. Tohtorit trying to pull off another stunning win here in game 3. It's the lock! Last Dance, who are down by a goal with things getting late in the third period. As they always seem to do, they find a way. As it's Lundstrom this time, who is the overtime hero, and you get a closer look off of the stick of Stammer and hits the back of the twine. But how about Lundstrom? Well, you don't really see Austin get that goal-scoring opportunity. He had 6 goals in the regular season out of his 32 points. How about this? Both him and Yamal have scored today. But you see the stats there. Last Dance with a 2-1 victory in overtime. They had all of the time and attack you could possibly ask for. But give them a lot of credit. They were able to slow down Tohtorit after that second period. Only had 3 shots away from that second period on, as we will bring you back into the studio here. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you. And folks, what a game that we had right there. Tohtorit up 1-0. Looked like maybe the upset could potentially happen for a second time in a row, but Last Dance doing what Last Dance always seems to do. They find a way, they push forward, they tie it, bring it into overtime, and we didn't even get a long overtime. They ended that thing just about a minute in to that extra frame of hockey. A 2-1 series lead for Last Dance, and a critical, monumental game number 4 coming up here in just a few minutes. But before we get that set, we're going to take a quick break, hear a quick word from our sponsors, and be back with game number 4 as these two teams get set. Last Dance with a 2-1 series lead. They potentially go up 3-1 heading into game number 5 after today, or will Tohtorit make this thing a best of 3? We will find out in just a few moments. But before we do that, we're going to take a short break, so do not go away. Be right back. back and ready to roll game number 4 between these two teams. The final game of our coverage here today. We thank you all for sticking with us in what has been an interesting broadcast in every possible way, but we have been enjoying it. We have loved every second of it. As again, we were watching from the perspective of Last Dance, who a nice one-time shot there that was saved by Stammer, wearing their white and black away uniforms, while Tohtorit in their new red home uniforms, cleaning it up from the black and gold look that we saw from them throughout the regular season. Last Dance have it in the offensive zone right now. It's turned over instead. It's still pick up possession again. Last Dance 2-1 in the series. Looking to take a big 3-1 advantage here if they can come out with the win. Tohtorit looking to turn this into a best of 3. With it for Tohtorit. Check from behind there, and Last Dance now take over possession as Nicky Dangles trying to put on some moves, but no space for him to be able to do so. Carcass will take it for Tohtorit. Move this forward. Past the blue line. Nice try there on the pass across, but a better defensive play made by Lundstrom and Puanso. As a breakaway for Eki, shot was saved by Stammer. That's the thing about Eki. He just pops up out of nowhere sometimes in these plays and just always seems to be at the right place at the right time. Last Dance, good pressure. Eki with now the pass over the Dangles led to a shot that went wide. Still to Reed. Trying to get out of their own end. Last Dance really applying some pressure here. Nicky Dangles and Eki both forechecking Carcass. And it leads to a turnover. Puanto picks it up. Pass across to Nicky Dangles. Leads to a save from Stammer. Puck loose in front. And picked up by Stammer, who will freeze it. But full pressure here for Last Dance, who applied that forecheck on Carcass, and he really didn't have a whole lot. That was 1-on-3, essentially. At first, it was just Eki, then Nicky Dangles joined the fold, and he tried to go to his right, and all of a sudden, he had Puanzo there waiting on him, too. So an offensive zone draw now coming up for Last Dance. It will be to the right side of Stammer. Tied up. Won by Tohtorit in their own zone. Turned over in the neutral zone as Last Dance dumping in, puck giving chase, and found first by Tohtorit, who now with the counterattack. Controlling it, tried to get the oil up, but picked off. Last Dance not able to get out in their own end. Oiler now gets it back. Shot on from the point there from Pocky was saved off of the blocker of Consolino. Trying to cross the blue line, but stopping his tracks, forced to reset. Now Lundstrom picks it up, moves it forward, and looks to get Stammer involved. So he'll pass this over across to start the breakout for Tohtorit. Everyone controls it. Trying to give it back, but nothing there for him is Hockey didn't have much space. Hockey within the offensive zone again. His pass shot across there was stopped by Stammer. Save for Stammer, already up to 4 so far in this game. That's perfect Hockey, who kicks off the scoring for Tohtorit. As you get another look at it there, it can happen just that quickly. Tohtorit with a 1-0 advantage now here in the first period. 5 minutes to go in that opening frame, and now Last Dance, despite some chances and despite playing good hockey, down! Great chance there, but a better stop by Stammer. Another offensive zone draw coming up for Last Dance. But Stammer flashing the glove there on that save. As, boy, Tohtorit, they have struggled to break it out of their own zone a few times, and now they're just going to have to flip that one out, and it's going to lead to an icing. Offensive zone draw here coming up for Last Dance. Bring it back. Shot on from Lundstrom, the overtime hero from Game 3, but it's denied on that. Marcus moving it forward for Tohtorit. Has it. Shot was blocked in front by Nicky Dangles. And all up the right boards with speed. Picked up by Puanzo after he lost it. Puck in front, but found first by Tohtorit. 90 seconds to play. Sending a response from behind there by Puanzo, and Last Dance worked their way into the offensive zone. Up behind the net, found by Eki. Moves it up, shot on from Lundstrom, was blocked in front. That was Harlow to gun in front of that one. 10 seconds to go. Yamal at the right point. Circles around, looking for a pass, a shot option. Nothing there for him, as that will kill off the remainder of the time. And that will do it for the first period. Tohtorit, a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes. The goal from Pro Filipaki. This pass across from Oila that led to the one-timer just gets past that upper left pad of Hanselinho to give Tohtorit a 1-goal advantage. As you get a look at some of the stats there, Last Dance, 6 shots to 3 in their favor. He has Tohtorit that holds that 1-goal advantage. We're underway for period number 2. We're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Golden Occupancy, Game Changer, as well as Wellnet. They're generous and amazing support of everything we do here at SportsGamer and the ECL. Tohtorit have possession in the neutral zone. Trying to cross the blue line, but an offside is called before they can get in the offensive end. A couple of quick stoppages here to start this period. Last Dance now take it past the blue line, and they'll get in the offensive end and start working it around. Dangles trying to pass in front to Eki. Nothing really there for him, however. And now here comes Tohtorit down the other end. Pass across there, trying to hit Pro Filipaki again. There was Oila, but it was disrupted. Tohtorit still have possession after the quick Last Dance turnover, and now they'll move forward. Loose, found first by Eki. Now skates up the right side, but an offside's called as Nicky Dangles was about a step ahead of him. 15:48 to go in period number 2. Tohtorit with a 1-goal advantage. They have possession right now. Nice defensive play there made on the boards by Last Dance. Possession's been very back and forth so far in this period. Tohtorit controls now. Shot from Oila was gloved in by Hanselinho, who will play that out quickly. Not often have we seen Hanselinho hold on to those unless he's had to. He wants to keep that play moving. Almost worked out for him there. His Last Dance had a chance in the offensive zone, but forced to reset after that pass went away. Aston controls it here. To Yamal, now to Eki, back to Yamal. Runs its way to Nicky Dangles, back to Ronston, pass in front. Shot from Eki goes wide. Also trying to keep possession, battling with Carcass and gets it. That shot in front there was quick and sudden from Nicky Dangles, but didn't catch Stammer off guard. He made the save. Another offensive zone face-off coming up here for Last Dance. This one to the left side of Stammer. Won by Eki. And Puanzo trying to get it down low to him. Eki to Yamal. Yamal at the high right face-off circle now goes to Ronstrom. Ronstrom to Puanzo. Nicky Dangles behind the net. Now to Yamal again. The right boards. Goes for it. Is it up for Last Dance? So a 1-1 scoreline as Puanzo right over on that side left post, able to just tap that in. Perfect pass there from Yamal, and Last Dance maybe not done, but Oyela able to break that play up. But the pass from Yamal over, Puanzo ties it up, and just like game number 3, we've got a 1-1 score. Ronstrom gives it to Yamal at the high slot. Now over to Nicky Dangles at the right boards. Eki joins the play after he got hit in the neutral zone and controls it over at the right corner. It's Nicky Dangles trying to... gives Last Dance the lead in the second period. And that's what this Last Dance team can do. They can just flip the script in a matter of seconds. From down by a goal and Tohtorit playing right with them to now a 2-1 advantage in all of the opportunities over his last few possessions. But can Tohtorit find a way to get one back as that pass from behind the net went awry, and that's going to force a reset. Oh, and a turnover at least to a save from Stammer. Didn't get the full look at it. But Stammer able to make a blocker save to keep this in a 1-goal game. Tohtorit starting to fall at the seams a little bit here. It's the pressure from Last Dance being ramped up, and here comes Tohtorit down the other end. Oyela turns it over, but gets it back. Passing cross, shot on, blocked away by Hanselino. Nicky Dangles has seen enough. He's going to slow things down. You see Eki all the way past all 5 defenders there at the opposite side blue line. Last Dance not able to break it out, and it's a turnover now. This is the point from the point there from Sega Stormy. A save by Hanselino, and he'll hold on for the stoppage. 40 seconds to go. Period number 2, Last Dance with a 1-goal advantage now after back-to-back goals from Puanzo. It's a zone draw won by Eki and Last Dance. Slapping in the offensive end. Found first by Tohtorit. Not able to hold on to it. 2 seconds to go. Nicky Dangles trying to pass it in front to Eki, but he's picked off. And that will do it for period 2. Last Dance. From down by a goal to up by a goal. A 2-1 advantage after 40 minutes of play. That man right there, Puanzo, he made a lot of it happen. A couple of really nice passes over that left side post. That right there was the goal that gave Last Dance the lead. And you can't say they don't deserve it. 4 more shots, nearly 3.5 minutes of time on attack more than what Tohtorit have gotten. And you feel like Tohtorit, they were pretty solid in that first period, obviously. Had that 1-goal advantage. Felt like they were playing right with Last Dance. But in period number 2, you saw Last Dance show shades of what we saw from them through the first 2 games, especially in game number 1 and the earlier parts of game number 2. Maybe they found a little something here that they can utilize to their advantage, but can they finish the job and take this home? We are underway for period number 3, our final game of our coverage here today. A long day of coverage. We thank you all for sticking with us here. We've seen some fun action. If you just are joining us here in the later part of our broadcast, Last Dance up 2-1 in the score of this one, up 2-1 in the series as well. In game number 1, 6-0. Tohtorit was able to steal game 2. 2 goals in 5 seconds. They were down 2-0 with 30 seconds to go. Tied it up in about 5 or 10 seconds from that point forward. Won it in overtime. And as we just saw in the game before this, game number 3, Last Dance, a 2-1 overtime victory to give themselves the advantage in the series. As Tohtorit, an offensive zone draw now coming up. Marcus gets it. A one-time shot blocked in front. So the Storm that let that one rip from the right point. Pass goes awry right when Tohtorit had full pressure. That's going to force a reset, and that full pressure meter is going to be all but gone. Back in the offensive zone now, however, behind the net. Up to Carcass. Carcass holding it at the left board. Gives it up to Harlow. Harlow to Tohtorit. Tohtorit at the corner, looking for an option. Flop it, nothing there. It was a picked off well by Yamal. As here comes Puanso. He has both goals. It's the Eki. Out forward, found first by Tohtorit. In the offensive end, Tohtorit, and a penalty going to be called. A tripping call going to go against Eki. So Eki will head to the box, which unfortunately it looks like we're gonna have the camera be in the penalty box camera here. So a little unfortunate there, but we'll do what we can with it. As it looks like Last Dance going to take a time out here, and understandably so. Tohtorit had all of that pressure. Likely the stamina a little bit low, and Last Dance with a critical penalty kill here. Tohtorit has been good on the power play so far in this series. Scored twice on the power play in game 2, as saw that shot almost saved and stopped by Hanselinho. And I cannot read Finnish, but Eki, we appreciate you for that, my friend. Thank you. You get us out that penalty box camera. That's why we love Eki around here. We love to see that. Big thank you to him. The shot from the neutral zone. The neutral zone was stopped by Stammer. Tohtorit about halfway through this power play and in the offensive zone, looking for the tying answer here. Marcus at the point, goes forward, gives the Oil a pass across, was picked off by Lundstrom, but Tohtorit still pushing. Harlow at the point, gives it to Carcass. Carcass, one-time shot there from Quarterfinals was stopped by Hanselinho. And we've got a stoppage with 14 seconds to go on the Tohtorit power play. Watch out for Eki coming out of the box here if Last Dance can get this, and Tiding just didn't line for it there, but they are able to clear it, and Eki now joins the fray. Back to 5-on-5, 6v6 action. Goalies count, they'll keep the 2. Tohtorit having in the offensive zone after the turnover. Shot almost blocked away by Hanselinho. And once again, Tohtorit have full pressure, but they cannot keep it. There's a breakaway here from Puanso. Backhand stopped by Stammer. No pressuring here is Last Dance, however. They're low on gas, other than Eki, who came out of the box. Saw Nicky Dangles wasn't really able to do anything because of that. On that left post again. And Last Dance double their lead to 2. A critical goal with just 9:42 remaining in this one. Second goal of the series for Eki. And Last Dance willing to do it again. Yup. 4 unanswered goals for the #1 seed. Everyone joining in on the party for Last Dance. And all of a sudden, they've got full control of this one. They want to avoid what happened in that game too. They dropped that 2-goal lead they had. Well, Hard to drop a 2-goal lead when you make it a 3-goal lead, and that's exactly what Last Dance have done. Less than 8 minutes to play, and they have possession once again. Beautiful spin move there from Lundstrom. Somehow keeps on to that puck, but finally loses it. As Tohtorit, who are now in dire straits, are trying to force a turnover, and they do. Can't keep possession long, however, as here comes Yamal. 2-on-1, spin move shot on, saved by Stammer. Will Filipaki now has it for Tohtorit in the offensive end. Approaching the 5-minute mark here, Last Dance. Look like they should have this one under wraps, but you don't want to speak too soon, obviously. We've seen a lot of things in this series. Ooh, there's a chance there to get that breakaway to Eki, but not able to connect on the pass. Last Dance still controlling. In the offensive zone, Yamal back to Nicky Dangles. Trying to give it back to Lundstrom, but could not connect on that pass. 2.5 to go. Tohtorit in the offensive end. Park is pressured and loses that puck. Nicky Dangles with it on the right boards. Stops, evades the defender, still controlling possession. Tied up on the boards, and it's found by Tohtorit after he lost it. 60 seconds to go. Last Dance with a chance. Tohtorit! Just like they did in game 2. With a goal in the last minute. 4-2 now, and I was about to say, Last Dance looking to coast on home to the finish, but nonetheless, Tohtorit maybe not done. 4-2 now your score, and they have possession in the offensive zone again. 5 seconds to go, with a 2-on-1 potentially brewing for Last Dance, but Tohtorit a good job getting back. Out for the corner, won by Eki. Goes to Nicky Dangles. Who wisely holds on to possession. Last Dance gonna just reset this thing. Do not want to turn over. That's exactly the play you'd expect this team to make. They're so smart there, as that was a chance there for Tohtorit. A little bit of delayed reaction, but nevertheless, Tohtorit in the offensive zone. As they lost it there at the blue line, and offside call. 15.5 seconds remaining. We saw 2 goals in less time than that from Tohtorit already in this series, but to do it twice, that's going to take it's going to take a lot. See if they can make it happen though. Win the face-off in the neutral zone. Marcus trying to pass it in front, nothing there. As only one shot on was saved by Montalino, gets to that puck, passes it out. 4 seconds remaining. As the time will tick down, and Last Dance, it wasn't always pretty. They were down 1-0 earlier on, but they scored 4 unanswered goals to lead them to a victory, a 4-1 win over Tohtorit, and they take a 3-1 advantage now. In this series. A valiant effort there from Tohtorit. Had a lead in games 3 and 4, but were not able to hold on to either. Just 1 goal in game 3, and then as we mentioned, Last Dance with those 4 unanswered goals, able to really take control of this series. As you get a look at some of the final stats there, as we will bring you back into the studio here. Brandon B. Major Bigsby with you folks. It has been quite the ride today. We have seen a little bit of everything in this broadcast here today. We've seen blowouts, we've seen comebacks, we've seen overtimes. I mean, you name it, we probably saw it. Maybe not a goalie goal, but other than that, we saw pretty much everything here on our coverage here today. And I mean, how about Last Dance? Last Dance just really always able to, again, we've said it a few times, just always able to find a way. When you think that they might have a push going against them, they end up punching right back. And give Tohtorit their credit. They really pushed them throughout 3 of those 4 games that we saw today. But again, sometimes you just have a team that is just a little bit better and has a little bit more in the tank. And today, that indeed was this Last Dance group. The number 1 seed, just 1 victory away from going to the semifinals. Again, we will be back here on Wednesday at twitch.tv/ReactTheoMedia for our next 2 series, Exen versus Mustakulta, our 4 versus 5 series, and then Mythics versus SSK, our 2 versus 7 series. Those 2 series, very, very intriguing, arguably 2 of the more interesting series that we have here in our playoffs here, Exen and Mustakulta. Again, that 4-5 series, Mustakulta kind of slid a little bit there at the end of the year. Exen, arguably the hottest team in the division heading into the playoffs, and you have Mythics, a team that have ascended into that championship contending status this season against the Cinderella story, SSK Esports, a team that a lot of people felt would not be in the playoff conversation, potentially would be having to fight to even keep their way in the elite division. I know I was certainly in that party. I'm eating curl on that one, was 100% wrong. SSK earned the 7th seed. We're really in a playoff position all season long. They'll go up against Mythics in that 2 versus 7. So right here on Wednesday, twitch.tv/ReactTheoMedia. You can also find us live on YouTube at ReactTheoMedia and on our X account at SportsGamer GG. We want to make sure we thank our amazing sponsors, Covalent Occupancy, Game Changer, and WellNet for their generous support of everything that we do here at SportsGamer and with the ECL. We want to thank you guys for joining us here, as well as a shout out to the teams for their patience. They had to wait an extra 20 plus minutes so we could get things set up. As we mentioned, had a couple of curveballs thrown out as last minute before the broadcast here today, but the team's just so patient, keeping things with us here, keeping things in stride. A longer night for them than they anticipated. So wanted to make sure that we thank them for not only their cooperation, but also for their patience as well as we got everything set up here for this broadcast today. And thank you to the viewers as well. You guys spending your evening here with us here at SportsGamer. My name is Brandon B. Major Bigsby. Thank you all for joining us here today. Make sure you're right back here on Wednesday for more ECL Elite Division quarterfinals action. I promise you guys, you are not going to want to miss it. Thank you all for joining us, and have a great rest of your night.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.